Well, good morning, everyone. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get this party started. Let's see here. All righty. Well, it is, what is today? Today is the last day of the month. There we go. All righty. Let's see if we can get Alex here on board. Well, good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I woke up. It's a good day.
Amen. Amen. Boy, I'm having trouble with the chat on TikTok today.
What's the problem?
Well, it's not allowing me to see the chat on my computer like I normally do. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what is going on here.
Well, I guess you'll just have to stick to the news today.
Well, let's see if we can figure this out here. Bear with me, everybody. We're trying to get the chat up. Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right.
Boy, that had me going there for a minute. I thought, oh my goodness, we're in trouble.
I can see the sweat on your brow.
I know. All right. So you're on the road today. Everything going well, I hope?
Everything's going well.
Good. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning. I'm trying to fix my screen really quick. Good morning, gentlemen.
All right. Good morning, James.
Good morning, sir.
All right. I think we got the chat going now. All right. Let's see here. So, good morning, Mary Lise Brown. Good morning, Richard Pacente. Good morning, Joy. Kathy Lofton is here. Kings Girl 1974 is here. We have John Gwynn here, the superstar, John Gwynn. Share Baby 29 is here. Donna Fox, Crystal Zaysky, F. Southard is here. Sherry Gale. John, thank you for the gifts. It's appreciated. Mrs. Deadpool is here. Good morning, everyone. All right. So, Share Baby 29 said, good morning, all. Happy hump day. All right. Well.
Before everybody makes their fingers sore tapping today, I am not at my computer. So even if we hit 50,000, we're going to owe you a dance, just so you know.
All right. Well, that's to be expected from time to time. Mama Bear's here. Good morning, Mama Bear. She said, good morning. I'm going to jump back over and listen to President Trump live, and I'll be back. I didn't know he was live this morning.
He just went live.
He did?
It's on Fox News right now.
Oh, bummer. I wish we could have gotten that. Oh, well, that's all right. Good morning, Sherry Gale. Gary is here. Good morning, Gary. All right, so let's see, gentlemen. Alex is not at his cabinet. He is not at his computer, so he will not be bringing us the indexes today. I will see if I can.
I've got all but gold and silver pulled up if you'd like, Sam.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, and then I'll do gold and silver.
Okay, we got the Dow Jones right now. It's showing it's down 200 at 40,327. The Nasdaq's down 214 at 17,246, and the S&P is down 47 at 5,512. Bitcoin is at 93,912, so we're down 0.4%. And then let's see, XRP, it is at $2.15, so it's down just 3 3/4% roughly.
Excellent. Thank you, Adam, for jumping in there.
No problem.
I'm married to Bob's here. Hey, Blondie is here. Hey, Blondie, glad you can make it. T.Y. Linville is here as well. All right, so as far as gold and silver, it looks like gold is at $3,328.50, down about $7.40. Silver is at $32.96, up down about 20 cents. Platinum, $989.30, and palladium, $975.30. Have no idea why I decided to put those up, but there they are, everybody.
Well, you guys are hired. I don't have to do it anymore.
Oh, no, you're not getting off that easy. No way. No way. And before we get too far in, I want to make a correction. Alex brought to my attention a mistake that I made on the Daily Dispatch this morning. And I talked about President Trump saying a certain phrase. Let me pull it up here. He said, I thought it was President Trump that said, I got to get a farm in Michigan because when you own as many lives as I do, you got to get a place to put them all. Well, that was not President Trump. That was Scott Jennings from CNN that said that. And Alex pointed that out to me this morning. So that is my official retraction. I screwed up there, but you know what? Wasn't the first time, probably won't be the last.
You can't get them all right, Sam. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for the understanding. ShareBaby29 said it's a cabinet meeting live. Okay, got it.
We should be televising that. Dang it.
Yeah.
I know. Well, if our co-host would have been at his desk, we might have been able to pull that off. But all right, that's enough shaming for today.
Mom's dog needs her monthly grooming.
That's
I'm
it.
taking care of my mother's needs. Thank you.
Yes, you are, and you are a good son. So Christy B, 78 from Hayesville, Kansas is here. Lisa Maria is here. Good morning, Lisa. All right, so let's see here. James, would you be kind enough to give us our military report?
Certainly, sir. Yesterday we had talked about an aircraft carrier losing an F-18 and a tug. That is in fact true. The USS Harry Truman was evading, making a hard turn for a drone and a missile attack, and made a hard turn while they were moving an F-18 in the carrier or the hangar bay, and the plane and the tug started heading for the ocean, and the guy that was running the brakes in the aircraft knew he was going to go overboard, so he jumped out and sustained some minor injuries.
Wow.
But he is okay.
Has that ever happened before, James?
I'm sure it has.
Oh.
We've lost aircrafts in more than one conflict, rough seas. It happens. Normally they have gates up for that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and there's damage. But apparently they were getting ready to bring him up top, and that bay was open, and he went over. My dad was in the Navy, and he told me it happened a lot.
Got it. Okay, cool.
The the Coast Guard, Honolulu-based Coast Guard cutter Kimball turns in 20,000 pounds of cocaine
Wow.
that they seized on six different drug smuggling vessels, and it had a worth of about $414 million, and that was off the coast of Mexico, Central and South America. And we had talked about.
But they can't find a little baggie in the White House.
Right.
So, like everything, we had suspected that President Trump was in Michigan for a reason, more than just to give a live. Well, it turns out President Trump was in Michigan to let people know from Selfridge Air National Guard Base in Macomb County, which is just north of Detroit, that will be the home base for the F-47 fighter jet.
Oh, okay.
And he did, in fact, go tell them that yesterday, and it was quite a big celebration. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, no question. No question. Have you been able to get any good photos of the F-47 yet, James?
I've got a couple. I could try and post them up here.
Okay.
A lot of them are, they haven't had the paint scheme on. They're still gray.
Mhm.
They haven't got their official scheme, but I assume it's going to be probably close to a matte black.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine so because it's stealth, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well,
It's not really so much stealth. It's just radar scattering.
got it. Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you, James.
You bet.
So we've got a lot of R. Young. Thank you for all the roses. It's appreciated. Woo. Thank you for the hat and mustache. So there's a lot of you in the chat saying that President Trump is on. We know that. We wish that we could bring it up. Hey, Donna's here this morning. Good morning, Donna. But we are not in a place to do it today. Normally we would do it. We would bring it up. Unless, Alex, you could think of some way I can do it. I don't know how I would be able to at this point.
You just have to stream it on your laptop and then, no.
Yeah, because I've got the other things going. Yeah. Oh, well, that's all right. R. Young and Donna, thank you for the gifts. It's appreciated. Good morning, Franny Dragonfly. Glad you can make it. All right, Adam. So what do we have in terms of judges and affiliates being reprimanded and or perp walked?
We got a judge this morning that is it's actually making quite a stink. Judge Jeffrey Crawford out of New York. We've got a Colombian student here on a green card that he's been arrested and detained, and so we've got quite the showdown going on there right now. Saying no, because he was detained by ICE because of a citizenship interview that something happened there, and they went and detained him, and then this judge stepped in and said no, and he gets to remain while the hearing's going down. So this is getting spun 7 ways from Sunday right now, but it's right now the student that we're talking about is Mohsen Madawi was released from ICE custody on Wednesday after the Judge Crawford ruled he should be allowed to stay, and it's basically brought forth to challenge this whole thing with Trump, saying that his due process rights were being violated, but he's still on a green card. He's part of the ones where they were inciting the Palestinian riots and all of those things across the campuses. So this is what we've got going on right now with Judge Crawford. I've been trying to find more on him. It's very hard to pull up anything on Jeffrey Crawford right now at this moment, but I might do a deeper dive. But that's the showdown we've got. That's what they're trying to
Have you tried Data Republican's website?
That's exactly where I went.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for that report, Adam.
No problem.
All righty. So let's see here. Oh, boy.
Before you go through the chat, can I just share? I channeled my inner troll this morning on TikTok having my coffee, and who pops up on my feed live but Don Lemon.
What?
And I thought to myself, Don Lemon live on TikTok, and the things that were spewing out of his mouth, I just had to, and I typed in, how about those ratings, Don? Fake news, carry on.
And did he respond?
I was watching his eyes go across the comments, and he goes,
Good. Excellent job, Alex. Oh, hey, everybody, mods, while I'm here, I did reach out to Derek Johnson this morning, and he may pop on. I don't know. I'm hoping he will, but just keep an eye out for him if you would. I think he's under 17.
Rattle Trap. Yep.
Rattle Trap, yeah.
Rattle Trap 1776.
Yeah, if he does pop in, just pull him up, would you?
Absolutely.
I know he was live just a little bit ago.
Right, exactly. So over on YouTube, we have Randall Blank, SoCal RB60, a very good friend of mine for many, many years. Thanks for joining us, Randy. Hey, Randy, do me a favor. You said that it was lagging on YouTube. Will you take a look at X and Rumble and see if it lags on there as well? I'd appreciate it. All righty. So let's see. We have Wu said, amazing that our leadership allows us to sit in on cabinet meetings. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what was the phrase that Obama used? Transparency at the highest level, which was garbage. President Trump doesn't, exactly. President Trump doesn't have to say it, he shows it. It's that old phrase that I've used many times. I can't hear a word a person saying because their actions speak so loudly. And that's a perfect example of the Trump administration, in my opinion, at this point. All righty. So we've got some trolls in the chat today. Oh boy, what would it be without a day of trolls, right? All righty. So yesterday it came out that the U.S. home prices hit a new record high in February. Now, we've talked about this multiple times in terms of, are the cost of goods going up or is the buying power of the dollar going down? Alex?
That's an easy answer. If you look at year over year since 1913, the dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. It's not that things are more expensive, ladies and gentlemen. It's the fact that it takes more dollars because the dollar's worth less.
Yeah, exactly. Adam, thoughts?
I would agree with that, but it ends up being magnified because what ends up happening is that, as we've already stated, the buying power goes down. It forces that cost up. So it's kind of a double-edged sword is what it ends up doing.
Right, exactly. James, any thoughts on that?
Thunder thieves, they got it all. I can't add to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, James.
Hold on, I'm trying to mute someone here. There we go. Okay.
Don't worry about the trolls. They bring more viewers. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So let's see here. That was the first article. Second, we have ALX. Oh, this is really interesting because we kind of touched on this yesterday. ALX over on X said that Walmart is launching a, quote, Grow With Us program aimed at helping small businesses by expanding support for American-made products. Now, I believe that Walmart was involved with nefarious activities for years. I don't think that's the case anymore. And for them to come out and promote American-made products, like we said yesterday, I would love to see Amazon put some sort of a moniker on the product saying whether it was made in America or not, because that would be helpful. I would certainly use that. I mean, James, what do you think?
They have to do something. Now that it's almost 100% self-checkout, they gotta find ways to spread out. Made in America is something that we all want to see. I want to see it. I don't want to see anything made from China. For the friendlies like France, you're in the European world. I welcome those too. But made in America is it's right here, where we all have flags in our backgrounds.
Yeah, exactly. Alex?
Well, I just want to respond to all be damned in the comments. That if there would be nothing on Amazon if it was only made in America, and that's the problem, right? That's the transition that has happened over the last 30, 40, 50 years is manufacturing and the creation of product has been farmed and outsourced to other countries, taking the jobs, taking the revenue. So I don't understand what you're trolling us about. We're on board with you. Yes, it's going to be a little painful for a little while until manufacturing ramps back up in the United States. But 324,000 jobs have been created since the man took office, and those were not BS government positions to inflate numbers. Those were real jobs. Real companies committing to produce product in the United States. I don't understand what you're upset about, brother.
Right. And for those types of major tectonic moves to take place, it started a while ago. So it's going to be a little while before we see it. Even President Trump came out yesterday or day before and said there are already factories being built. There are some that are being retrofitted. There's new ones that are coming. That doesn't happen overnight. We'd like it to do what we'd like it to be, but it's not plausible to think that type of move is going to happen overnight, but it's coming. John Gwynn said, sorry, go ahead, Adam.
No, you go ahead and then I'll chime in.
John Gwynn said the question answers itself. Scratch 65 said, yes, Alex, I agree. Donna Fox agrees with Alex as well. Gee, what a surprise. I think most of us agree with Alex there, actually. Misty said, it's 2025. Worldwide supply chain production is totally integrated. Well, that was the globalist plan. The globalists and the one percenters, their plan was to take over the majority of the countries in the world, funnel all of those profits into their 1%, and let everybody else fend for themselves. I think we all know that, but that came to a crashing halt in 2016. And now we're starting to see that ramp up away from the globalist perspective and the WEF and the WHO and all the other organizations out there that had their own nefarious intentions. We are now moving towards what I would call a nationalistic worldview, so that America is America first, Russia is Russia first, China is China first, and so on and so forth, which is what only makes sense to me at this point, in my opinion. Adam?
Well, I was just kind of back up for a second that Walmart was started by Sam Walton. That man was America first, and then his children ended up selling it out to the CCP right in the at the height of the 90s there. And so as it was moved and kind of over to the Chinese majority stockholders, they went through and ravaged and plundered all these little cities that forced in Walmart. It was like, no, we're coming in there, and they're preventing all this sort of all other businesses. Now they're at the point they're so weak that they're having to literally go, oh wait, we're just kidding. We want to work and partner with the little guy because guess what? They've blown out the globalist agenda and it's got them bust.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we are.
Alex?
I 100% agree with what Adam said. Someone in the comments said that it's going to be 100% AI factories. Well, if you look at the AI in the factories for Amazon, a lot of that is automated. And we went through this in the robotics age as they brought robots in to start building cars. And everyone was very concerned that there was not going to be jobs anymore. But the truth is, it takes programmers to program the robots. It takes technicians to keep the robots lubricated and operating properly. It is a shift. But AI, look, AI is never going to replace the wisdom economy, right? It's not going to happen. I think that there is opportunity for everybody in the shift to pick up a new trade, pick up a new skill. We're going to have to retool ourselves, and that's been the way of the world since the beginning of time.
Well, and that's exactly right, Alex. Any disruptive technology that's introduced into society is going to have those types of ramifications. Look at what happened when the automobile was created. There's a whole lot of baby buggy, or I should say horse-driven buggies and companies that went out of business, but the disruptive technology of automobiles, there was how many other opportunities that were created? Right.
True statement. But I don't. Again, it's like you said, disruptive technology. It's going to alter the way that we have always done things. So, you're not going to stop the evolution of mankind. You roll with it. Someone stated that May 10th, the last cargo ship was coming in, and thank you for the empty ports and all those things. We that are aware of the situation and understand that there's going to be a little hardship in this. Just prepare yourself. It's hey, we may not all be able to get everything that we want right when we want it. Instant gratification goes out the window, folks. You're gonna have to prepare yourself. But I mean, $1.95 for gas, I'm not gonna complain.
Right. Oh, you mean $4.25 a gallon in California? Holy.
You need to get out of California, brother.
You may be right. I don't know. Kansas and Idaho and Minnesota are looking pretty darn good right about now, I'll tell you.
Don't go to Iowa.
Don't go to Minnesota.
Don't go to Minnesota? What?
Well, there's 300,000 migrants that are here.
Oh.
And now I brought this up yesterday, they're taking $880 million away from the nursing homes and to help them along, and they're giving it to 17,356 illegals.
Wow.
And that's over the next 4 years, that's going to cost $550 million. Where's that money going to come from? We're $6 billion in the red right now. There's just no money, so they're taking it from us. Our taxes is going up.
I thought you just didn't want another Lebanese American in Minnesota there for a minute.
Kansas is terrible. There's tornadoes. The weather's nobody wants to be here.
Exactly. Adam, what are your thoughts on Utah?
Utah, there are pros and cons. We don't have 4 seasons, we have 8.
Yeah.
About every 6 weeks, and the saying goes, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, drive 5 miles. Other than that, it's some of the most beautiful country you'll ever see.
It's funny that when I lived in Colorado, that was the thing. I literally, when we first got there, the first year we were there, literally in one day, it was sunny, it rained, it hailed, and it snowed. all in one day. Coming from California, Los Angeles in particular, I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it. And that's what they told me. I'll just wait a few more minutes and you'll have
My
another.
wife is still going through culture shock because I moved her from Redondo Beach up here.
Oh, so she knows the drill.
She knows the drill. She's a year and a half deep in the adjustment. She's still going, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
We have 2 seasons here in Kansas. We have winter and construction.
Yeah, exactly. Mrs. Deadpool, as we were just speaking about, thank you for all the gifts. Haiti Clips, thank you for the gifts. R. Young said, and now the daughter has the Dollar General stores. Not exactly sure what you mean by that.
That's referring to the Walton daughter.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, excellent.
Yep.
And there's a pretty significant story around the placement of the Dollar Generals, the accidental pricing at Dollar Generals. They have strategically placed them in rural areas, lower income areas, and it's like I'm watching it in a town close to me. The local grocery store is really struggling. So we're just going to have to, again, we've said this on the show many times, we're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to wait for the tariff income to come in, for the ramp up of our ability to produce again.
Right.
And I think that's going to balance out. It's going to hurt, but it's going to hurt a lot less than what was coming if we didn't do something about it.
That's exactly right, Alex. It's exactly right. Hey, everybody on TikTok, we've got a lot of new people in here. If you would, hit that follow button. I do a daily dispatch every morning where I do the highlights of the news. Would love to have you be part of it. We also have subscriptions on TikTok and would love to have you be part of our inner circle. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry about that.
I was just going to say China caves on 125% tariff after White House predicts Beijing can't keep up. I'm already seeing reports that 25% of the factories in China have literally shuttered their doors.
Yeah, that was one of the next things I was
stacking up.
That was one of the next thing I was bringing up. China waiving the 125% tariff on the ethane imports. Looks like.
Let me issue a correction. Everybody's talking about gas prices. I am not paying $1.95 right now. I am referring to the previous attempts of the current administration and where they were able to get gas prices to. We have to be patient.
Right.
It will get back there again.
Right. Judged by one, Mary, Jersey, and Rosie, thank you for all the gifts. It's appreciated. R. Young said it's $2.61 where he's at. Just for fun said just filled up for $3.79 a gallon. I can't imagine that was here in California. We have, wow, John Gwynn said that it's $5 in Seattle now. Another tax just kicked in. That's what we're waiting for here in California, John. They're supposed to raise the gas tax in California by 60 cents a gallon. 60 cents a gallon.
You're paying more in taxes than you are on the fuel.
Yeah. Virgo 47 said simply, wow. Yeah, exactly. Very good point. Lord Mikey said Texas or Florida. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Rosie just said, so true. We have too many people now in Utah. Donna said, wow, that's crazy. Donna, Holly, and Haiti Clips, thank you for all the gifts. Right. So we have. Yeah. Oh, boy, we do have some trolls in here.
Back onto the news.
Yeah, I know. We have some trolls in here. Kind of threw me for a loop there for a minute. Let me see here. Let's see what we have up next on the hit parade. We have, government job openings plummet to a 5-year low. What a surprise. James, what do you think about that?
You know, we're trimming the fat. There was so many government jobs that weren't needed, and it didn't take long for the administration to highlight which ones those were, and we started clipping it right away, and that includes the military.
Yeah.
Some of the people that they've let go obviously were in higher ranking positions, but we know why they were let go. They were playing the left on the right.
Right.
So it's understandable. I'm glad to see it. It's unfortunate for some that were planning their retirement on that employment, but when you don't need it, you don't need it.
Right. Adam?
we're starting to see the real substance of what's really going on with the jobs as everything's shifting. The government jobs are nothing more than inflated fluff for Biden to put out on press releases. That's all that it was. Now Trump's having to unwind everything to bring it back into true alignment, and we're starting to feel the pain. But it's only going to be short term.
Right, exactly. Boy, Christopher said, "Love to talk, gentlemen." Well, we're glad you're here, Christopher.
Let's get back to Daily Dispatch.
I know. I'm trying. I am so far behind on these.
You can't keep up. It's 240 people in here.
I have to keep up, Alex. It's part of what I need to do. Am I a little ADD today? Susie Kabluzzi's here. Good morning, Susie. Glad you can make it. Oh, R. Young said he is not a he. My apologies, R. Young. It's kind of hard to tell. Carr, thank you for all the gifts. It's appreciated. Let's see. So next on the hit parade, we have, according to the Daily Mail, Citibank, used by over 200 million Americans, had an outage yesterday. Now, we had the outage in Portugal, in Spain, in multiple countries around the world. Alex, what do you make of that, if anything?
I gotta say, there's a photo from a satellite of Spain at night, and I've seen some reports over there. And last summer, we had 3 days without power. We had a storm come through and took out some power lines and those things. And it's just a reminder for everyone to make sure that your house is in order. Make sure that you have what you need to take care of you and yours. With that said, it is strange that an entire banking system goes down. But there again, I as I explained the other day with Cisco routers and a Nexus 7000, if somebody accidentally posts an update, it's pretty easy to take down an entire network. So I think that one's easily explained. The power outages over in Europe, I've seen some, and it's hard to filter through what's real and what's BS, because a lot of people post a lot of shit that just is not accurate, right?
Right.
But there was a post that was showing an ionospheric disturbance that can affect power lines, and the power lines, not much like when an earthquake happens, the power lines were oscillating because of this rare weather phenomenon. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're just testing their capabilities, or maybe there's some strategic moves being made in the background to one side flexing to the other that they can do something. I mean, we're just going to have to be patient and see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I agree. And it's hard to say what may or may not be going on. There was a huge fire in London this morning at some sort of a power plant, and I saw video of it. It was significant, but I just find it interesting that we have multiple countries that go dark. We have Citibank having some sort of an outage. We have a power station in London going up in flames. I'm of the mind that the Patriots are in major control, but that's here in America. There could be all kinds of deep state activities taking place in other parts of the world that may not be at the level that we are here. And again, I don't.
The date and time that we live in, folks, it's no longer pew pew storming the beach.
Yeah,
we are in a different age, a different time, and there are different things that we are, I believe, 100% in a conflict with a power struggle, a power paradigm that is having their piggy banks drained, having their avenues and routes closed, and a mean dog, when they're going to bite. A scared dog, you don't know what they're capable of.
Right.
And I again, keep your head on a swivel, keep your powder dry, stay vigilant, have fuel for your generator. Make sure you can go on Amazon and you can get a 25-pound bucket of rice and beans for less than $50. while $50 is a lot of money to somebody, that'll feed you and a family of 4 for, I don't know, probably 3 months.
Yeah.
You might get tired of eating it, but you're going to make it through.
Yeah, exactly. Donna Fox said it's scary being on oxygen 24/7. Yeah, Donna, and I would highly suggest that you get a generator. Maybe you already have one, I don't know. But to play it safe, get that generator. I have a family member who's on oxygen, and she has a machine that actually continually makes oxygen, but you have to have power. So I would highly suggest that you have that. Maybe you already do. At least I hope you do. I'm married to Bob said, you're right, Alex. Dana Mackey's here. Hey, Dana. She said the gold is up, stock market's up, and gas is down. Yeah, we're moving towards it. We're going to have a little short-term pain to have the long-term gain. And that's just the way it works. There's no way to get around that at this point.
Well, I mean, we could go back to the Depression days. You know, folks, everybody thinks that it can't happen here. It can. And you can blame the current administration if you want to, but the reality is we were going to end up in that situation regardless. And if we can shorten the amount of time that we're in that situation.
100% I agree. 100% I agree. All right, so let's do our sponsorship break here while we're here. Let's see here. Let me get this pulled up here. Got this over here. All right, so first off, MyPillow, Mike Lindell. And he is back on the trail. He was at the rally with President Trump yesterday. He's doing much better. Thank you for all the prayers for him. But he has backed me from day one. He's a good man. He has an American-made company, and he's doing his best for America. So if you want to support this channel, MyPillow, and the American economy, go to mypillow.com or go to mystore.com. Enter in the discount code SAM, S-A-M, and you'll get up to 80% off of over 200 products. Also, we have Neil Naturopathic. That's Dr. Julia Neal, who was on the show last week. It's the only toxin-free, chemical-free hair care products in the market today. Go to neilnaturopathic.com or go to samshalhoub.com and click the button and use the discount code SAM20. That's SAM20, and you'll get 20% off of your purchases. And Dr. Peter Glidden, I have 2 buttons for him on my website. One that'll take you to his health and wellness website, where you could ask him an unlimited amount of questions. The other button is he just produced a new book. It's published now. And if you use the code SAM, you'll get 10% off his new book. Just go to samshalhoub.com and you'll find it there. And as we talk about always, I mean, we're talking about Citibank going down. We're talking about countries going dark. Alex, give us a little info on cybersecurity and Risk Tool.
Well, I'm doing my cybersecurity duty right now because I'm tired of trolls. Risk Tool Technologies is a company that I own and operate. Has been around for almost 20 years. We specialize in helping companies with compliance primarily, but our software has built-in training to train your staff for cybersecurity awareness. So if you're not training your staff, if you're not helping your staff understand the pitfalls of cybersecurity, making sure that your IT department or your IT contractors are doing everything they're supposed to be doing, safe according to standards, our software can help you do that. It's risktooltech.com. It's a per seat. I mean, you can train your staff for, in some cases as little as $12 a year.
Wow. Incredible. Thank you, Alex. Susie Kabluzzi said that desperate people do desperate things. That's exactly right. Donna said, got it all. Mama Bear said, sitting with the president, listening to everything everybody had to say, it's amazing. Absolutely, I agree. Boy, you aren't kidding about these trolls in here. Donna said, got it. It's in storage up the street from where I am. Okay, good. Well, I would highly suggest that you get it next to you. Robert Horneff. Mega Dave. Is Mega Dave here?
Is he?
I think I just saw something from him. I'm not sure.
There he is.
You see him?
I got him.
Okay, thank you.
Leah's here also. Good morning, Leah.
Oh, bring her in if she wants to come on. Good morning, Dave.
I'll let her
Somebody say
What's that, Dave?
does somebody need help with trolls? I'm here.
All right, that's right. And you know what? Now it's time for a little scolding for Dave. Dave was a little late this morning. I got a lot of comments yesterday on the scolding that I was dishing out, and I want everybody to know that that's all in good fun. We're just playing around. Don't get your panties in a wad. All right, so let's see here. Let's
Back to
move.
the dispatch.
I know. Just hold on there, mister. I'm trying to get caught up here. Lee Daniel said, yes, lots of good stuff on the horizon. Absolutely, I agree. So interesting, the Treasury went live with its first automated payment verification system, and there was a total of 334 million in improper payment requests that were identified due to missing budget codes, invalid budget codes, and meaning that the payment was not linked to the budget codes with no authorization. In other words, the budget had already been fully spent. I mean, I can't believe that has been going on for how long? Decades? And now it's getting exposed and people are upset that it's being exposed, right? I mean, Alex, exactly. Tell me.
You're mad that they found money of your tax dollars that's being wasted. Go sit in the mirror and make that make sense, please.
Okay, here
With your little 40 followers on TikTok making your welfare comments and your Patriot comments and your My Pillow comments, go sit in the mirror and understand they've been stealing money. We found how they're stealing money, and you're mad at us about it.
Right.
I don't get it.
Exactly.
Well, no, let's go back to the back. Remember when in the previous administration, when we were bringing all those immigrants in and they started being dropped on doorsteps of those governors and politicians. Oh, no. Can't take them in at their place. They're more than welcome to come in, but not to my house.
Right. Exactly.
Same
James?
mentality.
James?
I'm glad that we harnessed the money. I'm glad that we found 334 million.
Yeah.
That's
Just in the first round.
You're right. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, people asking, well, who's been arrested? Okay, so if I go down today and I commit a crime, and I make it home, and I'm not caught immediately, but they do find the evidence that proves that I did it, they're going to put together what? A grand jury. That grand jury is going to put forth an indictment. Then it goes to the DA to decide whether or not the DA is going to pick it up and turn it into a case that they want to try. Is there enough evidence for me to be able to win this? Okay, 555 days from the time that something happens before it makes it into a courtroom and there's a judgment. Be patient.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Just like Beth Dutton said, excuse my language. That's all right. You can let it out if you need to, just like Beth Dutton. Donna Fox said, hey, Alex, I just got your book today. Can't wait to read it. Excellent. In fact, we haven't really made that announcement recently. So as we all know, we're going through a lot. There's a lot of emotional tension. There's a lot of anxiety. And I personally am a meditator. I do it on a daily basis. Alex wrote a book about meditation. Alex, will you tell people a little bit about that? I think it's important.
It's a beginner's guide to meditation, the easy road to a peaceful mind. The link is in my bio. I think everybody needs to take a little time every day on both sides of the political spectrum. I don't care where you sit or how you sit, but you've got to step back from the day-to-day grind and give yourself, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, and even if it's not meditation, just presence. Be present with a cup of coffee. Enjoy the taste, enjoy the smell, enjoy the sounds of the birds. It's springtime, folks. Get outside. But if you're interested in learning how to meditate, the particular method that I teach is called Prime Life Meditation. It's not a standard way of meditating, and it was that non-standard way of meditating that allowed me to achieve meditation. So it's a beginner's guide, and I read the books, I watched the videos, and I struggled with it for years. And now I teach it. And Donna, you bought the book. If you'll send me a private message, we can connect offline. I'd love to give you an hour of time, maybe a Zoom call, and we can walk through the process so that you understand it. Reading it and actually doing it with somebody is a little different. So I would gladly do that for you.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you, Alex. Now, I've been a little remiss in my duties here, Dave. Now that you're here, I love the new background. Looks great. Number one. Number two, do we have a farming and agriculture report?
I had just looked up some stuff. The USDA is to issue additional $1.3 billion to specialty crop producers. That consists of a few odds and ends here: fruits, vegetable, nut trees, and other specialty crops.
Marijuana.
Oh boy, here we go.
Maybe edible beans and peas and mushrooms and vegetable seeds. So
Excellent.
that's about it. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet on the home front. We'll have the additional acreage reports on how much is planted on Monday of next week. So
Excellent. Thank you, Dave.
Now, Dave, if we can figure out how to grow and produce morel mushrooms year round, those things are selling for $40 a pound right now.
yeah, you imagine what they'd be selling in the off season for. If we
Yeah.
get that.
Exactly.
It's more than oregano 2.0.
Yeah.
Get the kid on the TikTok shop. They have morel kits.
No,
Yeah.
no, those morel kits, brother. You listen. You're not going to grow morels. Mother Nature and that particular mushroom, as well as other, we'll call them magic mushrooms, are not so easy to just buy a kit and make it happen. The atmospheric pressures have to be correct. The soil temperature has to be correct. I'm going to nerd out for a minute. I'm just going to quit.
All right.
So,
You got a lot of energy today, Alex.
Oh yeah, he's on top of it.
Fired up.
Wow.
JP Metal Slayer said, "Get him, Dave." I like that. Our Jeff Coat is here. Thank you for the tiny dinies, our Jeff Coat. Lisa Maria said, exactly, Alex. Boy, everybody's on top of Alex today. Scratch 65 said, "I'm not mad, bro. Laugh out loud." I didn't think you were mad, Scratch, but who knows, right? All right, so we have, Mrs. Deadpool, of course, is bringing up the fact that we hit 50,000, but we will be dancing tomorrow because Alex isn't at his computer today. But thank you, Mrs. Deadpool, for making sure that we saw that. So you know what? Let's see if we can get 100,000 by the time we get done today. Then we can do a double dance. I'm married to Bob said he's having too much fun, meaning Alex. Virgo 47 said, "My signal is horrible today." I'm sorry to hear that, Virgo 47. That's too bad because Alex is on one this morning. So you're hopefully you'll be able to watch the replay on either Rumble, X, or YouTube. All right. So yesterday, Dan Bongino, who is the assistant deputy director at the FBI. Where's that coming from? Did you pull it off, Alex? All right, we're not there yet. It wasn't you?
it was me.
Oh, Dave, nice. Good job, Dave. So Dan Bongino yesterday said, if you harm innocent children in America, this FBI will pursue you, find you, and bring you to justice. Strong words. Dave, what do you take from that?
Let's do it. We're ready. I think a lot more is coming, and I think 7 days was kind of a deadline for O'Keefe. I think he's going to come out with some information stuff.
Okay.
Seven days from now, James O'Keefe is supposed to be bringing some more interesting stuff coming out. So,
Well, we'll look for that. Adam?
Dave, was that in reference to? I guess they're talking down in Florida where they're talking about that large child trafficking ring that they've broken open. Is that what you're referring to?
I think so. I think it's bigger than Florida.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it is too. And I'm just going to say this: if it comes down to anyone that wants to harm a child, I have no problem rocking that orange jumpsuit.
Yeah, then
Yeah,
let's not forget that other board said, what's the one thing that will unite everyone? That's the children, right? Alex?
I might have to be real
I know.
careful here.
Yeah.
Real careful here because I have extremely strong feelings about the subject. But Dan is the man. Bongino, the man he is, the service that he has provided this country, and for him to come out and say that, combined with the other posts that he has gracefully architected to let us know that just because you don't see something happen doesn't mean that there's not things going on in the background. And you're absolutely right. If you mess with the kids, and honestly, this is my personal opinion, and you can buy it on the TikTok shop. But if you are found guilty of that particular instance of harming children, I think that there is a 50-cent piece of lead, and we're done with you.
100%. I agree. 100%. And I know those are strong words, but it's a strong subject. It's a heinous activity that needs to be dealt with extreme prejudice. Extreme prejudice, in my opinion. Our Jeff Cook said, Alex, I agree. Granny Oakley, thumbs up. Richard Picante, yep. Crystal Zeski, I agree, Alex. Glenn, yep. AJM, yep. I'm married to Bob, yep. Exactly. I mean, that's something that will unite everyone.
It's a good thing you didn't call on me, Sam.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, James.
No. I probably would have got us kicked off.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sometimes I get out of sync here and I forget to call on people. My apologies. So yesterday, according to Zero Hedge, Arizona legislature passed a Bitcoin reserve bill, and it's moving closer to stockpiling crypto. Now, I know that our two major, what I consider to be the majors, Bitcoin and XRP. James, why don't you give us a little feeling how you feel about this?
Well, the stockpile thing is, obviously there are countries that have already started stockpiling. The United States using it for reserve is a huge win for the holders. And the interesting part is less than 1% of the world holds any type of cryptocurrency, and that's really a shame. I actually gave a banker yesterday at class. We were talking about a home loan and a refi, and we got into talking about the crypto, and a lot of people just don't know about it. And I know that if you want to learn about crypto, you can book an appointment with Sam, and he'll walk you through the process. I'm really very excited. Alex and I differ on time frames. Alex is always about the long run, and he's got the big shoes on that's got a thick sole, and he wants to go forever. And I'm not that guy. I want to see it happen tomorrow.
Right.
I want to see it happen the next day.
I would love to see it happen tomorrow, but I'm realistically optimistic.
Well, in Alex, you're probably more right than I am, but that steak is going to taste really good when you cook it for me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Adam?
No, I think this is exactly right on. I mean, we've got the country our country's, again, stockpiling precious metals. Why? Because ultimately the new system has to be backed by precious metals. But you've got, look at Arizona. They have regulations that are reciprocal banking agreements with precious metals between Texas and Nevada and other states. So for them to bring on crypto, they know something that the rest of the world is having yet to learn. But crypto is going to be, if not already, and they haven't realized it yet, how we transact.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
Well, and don't you guys think that along with XRP and Bitcoin, and when it transfers over, that's probably one of the last things that we're going to see on that board. I don't think it's going to be on the front side. Obviously, it's going to be on the back side, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to be pretty important to bring out prior to that.
Right.
I think that's going to be the icing on the cake, probably.
Yeah.
The icing on the cake is the reality that, yes, I am going to cook one mean steak, but James is going to be buying the meat.
There we go. There we go. Hey, Melissa's here. Where have you been, young lady? We haven't seen you in a while. Glad you could make it today.
Thanks for not doing eyebrows again.
Yeah, exactly. Richard Pacente says he agrees.
They're coming back.
KCMCG said, yes, a big, beautiful cowboy steak. I like that. I'm a big meat eater myself. All righty. So let's move on. According to the Washington Post, The Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, plans to cancel a total of 781 grants issued under Joe Biden. Now, I would think this has a lot to do with the Chevron deference, but again, Dave, what are your thoughts on it?
That's pretty important for the farmers out here in the sense of what the equipment is and the diesel exhaust fluid, or the government juice, as I label it, to get rid of it. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of red tape and it costs a lot of money across the board, even to the truckers out there on the road. It's nonsense. So.
Right, 100%. Dana Mackey, real quick, she said, Sam, do you help with XRP too? Yes, Dana, I do. And you can go to my website, samshalhoub.com, if you want. You can book an appointment with me. Sorry about that. James?
Of the 781 grants they've canceled, 377 have already been canceled, and the other 404 are coming, and it has to do with the environmental justice, pollution monitoring, prevention, and cleanup. And Dave is right about the government juice, the death fluid that we have to buy, not only for tractors, pickups, and semis. What's the unfair part of it, and Dave hadn't mentioned this yet, is high horsepower tractors don't require that.
Oh.
And they put out more exhaust than the smaller ones. So everything that we ship overseas, none of it has DEF. So it's a gimmick.
Interesting. Adam?
I like you guys right there up with the same, especially on DEF, because it is nothing but destructive. I mean, it will shred. It will cut a diesel engine's life in half. And the fact that we're seeing this EPA, these regulations getting cut, I will be glad to see when that day comes. But I think it's them trying to also save their own necks, because the EPA, being one of the three-letter agencies, really at this point has, in my opinion, no relevance.
Right.
It's more damaging and destructive than anything else.
Right. Hey, Mary McCrary made it. Hey, Mary, glad you could make it. All right, so let's move on here. We have next up, and this is the final one today. The SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, is being refilled. Thank goodness. What do you think about it, James?
Well, when you boost the Gulf of America's intake or pumping capabilities to 100,000 barrels a day, that's exactly where it's going, and I'm happy to see that.
Right, 100%. I agree, Dave.
Yeah, it's time to get that filled up and left alone. And I imagine once it's full, there should be an executive order to protect it.
Well, we lost Dave there.
Nope, I'm here.
Okay.
There should be an executive order to protect that.
I would agree, 100%. Adam?
I agree with that 1,000%, because, I mean, the fact that Hunter Biden was allowed to basically sell it off and snort it up his nose is just absolutely absurd to me.
Alex, what are your thoughts on the SPR?
Drill, baby, drill.
There we go.
Amen. I agree 100%. Hey, Chris Romano. I'm not sure if I said Deb M is here. Deb M said, I love your dog, Alex.
It's not mine, it's my mom's.
Well, same difference, right? All right, everybody. So that's it for today. And as I said, we're not going to dance today. Alex is on the road, so we are going to go to. Can we hear that? Oh, there we go. All right, guess we are dancing after all. And all you guys at home and all the guys on the screen, you better get up and start dancing too. Exactly. And for all of you who don't know, it's because we hit 50,000 likes today. We're actually well over that today. Exactly. Go, yeah.
Nice humming, Adam. That's great.
Yes. Yes. All right. Good job, everybody. And I hope everybody at home did the dance as well. That's one of the prerequisites of being on this live with us. When we start dancing, everybody's dancing. All right, excellent. Okay, so let's go to final thoughts. Adam?
All right, we got the Eighth Amendment today. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. And I'm just going to add, unless they offend a child.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. James?
One of the things, Sam, that not to confuse your viewers, is we left out the 125% tariff lift on ethane to China. And the United States is the sole producer of ethane to China. And there are other whitelisted items, pharmaceuticals, microchips, aircraft engines. They've been quietly accepted with no tariff. So they kind of pick and choose, and I think that some of the things that go on behind the scenes we'll never hear about, and they want to make it a preface or preface that we're still in a fight with China, but really I don't think it's as bad as people lead it on to believe.
Almost like there's a plan in place.
That's kind of what I'm getting to. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dave?
Yeah, it's interesting. People are saying Trump already ruining the economy. We're down 4,000 points from where it was on the Dow. It's all he's doing is getting stuff in place and getting ready to roll. So he only sleeps 4 or 5 hours a night. So
Yeah, exactly. Alex, are you able to do a final thought?
My final thoughts. F-A-F-O.
Exactly. All right, everybody. So, as always, thank you everyone at home for being part of this. You're what makes it possible. And we are so happy that we get to be able to do these things. And here we have our exit music from Dave. We love it. So, so everybody at home, like I say every day, the best is yet to come. Everybody have a wonderful day. Guys, thanks for being here. See everyone tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time.